The F-14 Tomcat is famous for one missile, the AIM-54 Phoenix. But what if I told you the most advanced Tomcat, the F-14D, was supposed to receive the AIM-120 AMRAAM, the missile that would become the backbone of American air combat for decades? In fact, the Navy successfully tested AMRAAM on the Tomcat. The upgrade was planned, the software path existed, yet Fleet F-14s never received the missile. So what happened? Before we dive into this video, I need you guys to make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Only 9% of you are currently subscribed, and I know for a fact that we can do better than that. We've had a pretty reliable leaker so far that has had a leak list out for a while now that has the F-14D arriving with the AIM-120 AMRAAM. Now, obviously, we do not know that for fact yet. We're probably going to know in the next week or so when we get the trailer, and obviously there's a real possibility we get a dev blog with said aircraft tomorrow. So there's always a chance this video becomes obsolete very fast, but it might be relevant in the future if we still see the F-14D. So by the late 1980s, the Tomcat was evolving. The new F-14D featured major improvements over earlier F-14A and F-14B models. More powerful General Electric F-110 engines, a digital avionics architecture, improved mission computers, the AN APG-71 radar, which is derived from technology used in the F-15E, better electronic warfare and navigation systems. The F-14D represented the most capable version of the Tomcat ever built, and because it has modern digital avionics, integrating newer weapons became much easier than on earlier variants. At the same time, the United States was developing a new air-to-air missile. The AIM-120 AMRAAM was designed to replace the older AIM-7 Sparrow. Unlike Sparrow, which required continuous radar support from the launching aircraft, AMRAAM used active radar guidance in the final phase of flight. This gave pilots a significant tactical advantage and allowed aircraft to engage multiple targets more directly. By the early 1990s, the Air Force was rapidly adopting the missile, and the Navy expected to use it across multiple aircraft types. Many people assumed the Tomcat never carried the AMRAAM. That's actually incorrect. The Navy conducted AMRAAM flight testing using F-14A Tomcats during the missile's development. Test photographs show F-14s carrying and launching AIM-120 missiles from Point Mugu, California. The tests demonstrated that the missile could be carried and launched from the Tomcat platform. According to a 1994 government report, the Navy even planned to add AMRAAM launch capability to the F-14D through future software updates. On paper, AMRAAM was a perfect fit. The F-14D's APG-71 radar and modernized computers gave it the capability to support a weapon like the AIM-120. The Tomcat would have carried a mix of AIM-54 Phoenix for very long-range engagements, the AIM-120 AMRAAM for medium-range air defense, and AIM-9 Sidewinder for close-range defense. This would have created one of the most versatile air superiority fighters in the world. Many naval aviators and Tomcat enthusiasts believed the aircraft had significant untapped potential. The reason wasn't technical on why it failed. It was financial. During the 1990s, the Cold War had ended. Defense budgets were shrinking, and the Navy faced difficult choices about where to spend modernization funds. At the same time, the FA-18 Hornet was already receiving AMRAAM integration, and the Navy was preparing for the arrival of the FA-18E and F Super Hornet. Decision makers increasingly viewed the Tomcat as a platform nearing the end of its service life. As a result, the cost of fully integrating and fielding AMRAAM across the fleet was judged to be unjustified compared with investing in newer aircraft. Instead of receiving the AMRAAM, the Tomcat evolved in a different direction. The Navy invested in precision strike capabilities, including the Lantern targeting pod. This transformed the aircraft from a pure fleet defense interceptor into a highly effective strike fighter. During operations in the Balkans, Afghanistan, and Iraq, Tomcats became known as some of the Navy's most capable precision strike attack aircraft. The AMRAAM upgrade gradually faded from the priority list. The F-14D was only a few steps away from becoming an AMRAAM-equipped fighter. The missile had been tested, the upgrade path existed, and Navy planners had considered adding the capability. But changing budgets, shifting priorities, and the rise of the Hornet family ultimately ended the project. When the Tomcat retired in 2006, it left service armed with Phoenix, Sparrow, and Sidewinder missiles, but never carried the AIM-120 it was once expected to carry. And in War Thunder, obviously a lot of players want this aircraft, for obvious reasons. The F-14D is what many would look at as a perfect Tomcat. Upgraded engines, upgraded radar, upgraded avionics. And it has a lot of mixed emotions when it comes to War Thunder. A lot of players feel this should be an aircraft that's in the tech tree, and I actually kind of agree and disagree. The F-14D in War Thunder I don't think would offer a lot if it were to be just added with the AN APG-71 and improved engines. Gaijin would have to 1. Make electronic warfare relevant. They would 2. Have to probably add newer Phoenixes, and probably go ahead and give the F-14D the AIM-9M, even though all other Tomcats should have the 9M. And they would have to make significant other changes to the flight model for me to think that it'd be worth putting in the tech tree. Now, Gaijin seems to maybe think it's going to be a premium. At least if the leak list is correct, we will see it added as a pack premium for the United States, which sadly makes the most sense. Now, that's where we get into the second sort of, issue that players have, and that is the AIM-120 AMRAAM. Gaijin has had a history of adding planes with missiles they never carried. The F-14D did not carry the AIM-120. The test bed for it was an F-14A, carrying AIM-120s. And even though the F-14D very easily had the capability to carry the 120, it never fielded it. In my personal opinion, it seems very likely Gaijin is going to add the F-14D as a premium, which will upset a lot of people, and add it with the AIM-120, which will upset a lot of people. If I were Gaijin, I would personally add the F-14D as a pack premium. Or maybe a tech tree, if they gave it like I said. If they don't, add it as a premium, sit it at rank 7, and do not give it the AIM-120. Instead, give it the upgraded AIM-54s, and AIM-7Ps, and the AIM-9M. Now, my reasoning for not giving it the AIM-120 is I want the aircraft to be fun to play. And if it receives the AIM-120, it's going to sit at a much higher BR. It's going to become exactly like the Su-30. It's going to be a hated vehicle. And I also feel really bad for a lot of people. I think the F-14D would be really well suited if it arrived like the JA-37D did. The JA-37D Viggen received a tech tree vehicle and a premium variant. Gaijin could do the same thing. Maybe give the premium the upgraded AIM-120s. Give it the 120s and call it good. And then give a tech tree vehicle variant of the F-14D without the AIM-120s to keep everyone else happy. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments. I think the F-14D has a real shot of arriving this major update. Obviously, like I said, we're going to know really soon. This video is going to be obsolete probably within a handful of days. But I thought it'd be fun to make. I enjoy talking about the F-14D and other naval fighter aircraft. And I think the aircraft itself is really cool. It seems to be getting a lot of touching a lot of people in the community. A lot of players love the Tomcat. And a lot of players want to receive the F-14D. Like I said, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and I will see you guys in the next one.